SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
When banking starts to feel less personal, you know where to find us. Community Bank. Deep roots, local people, personal banking. Visit communitybank.net. Member FDIC.
And now, Sports.
Get ready, sports fans. It's time for Chasing Foul Balls on SuperTalk Pike County 93.5 and streaming worldwide on the SuperTalk Mississippi app and on your Amazon Alexa devices. Chasing Foul Balls, your weekly source for all the sports news and interviews important to Southwest Mississippi. Chasing Foul Balls is presented by First Bank. And now, here's your host, Robbie Hamilton.
Well, good Friday morning, everybody. Welcome to Chasing Foul Balls here on SuperTalk Pike County. Glad to have you along with us, and we can officially say it's Football Friday here in Southwest Mississippi. ASC and Centerville will bound tonight, 7 o'clock. They'll play that game over at Centerville. So we can officially say football is underway. Guest this morning, Bob Ghetti will join us. He's the host of Legends podcast and also the Eagle Hour here on SuperTalk. And also Coach Ron Rushing, the head football coach at Parklane, will be with us as we continue to talk football here on Chasing Foul Balls. With me this morning, to my right, the professor back with us after a little bit of a layoff. How are you, Neil?
I'm just proud to be here. Just glad to see you guys.
Yeah. So you got a jail-free card this week?
Yes, sir.
Okay. To my left, TP with us. Richard Hay, how are you, Richard?
Just fine, Robbie.
How's the cows in the heat?
Well, they're all still in, and they're in the shade.
Well, that's what I
don't blame them.
That's what I say about me. Right, how you doing? I'm only in the shade. That's all that counts right now. That's for sure. Well, bad news, or I say not good news to start this morning with. Something we had been expecting for a while, but the GOAT of college baseball coaches, Skip Bertman, passes away overnight at 88. No doubt, guys, he was the, I reckon you would say, the mover and the shaker of college baseball to where it is right now.
Well, Ron Polk was the mover and the shaker, and when Bertman came to Baton Rouge from Miami, he turned it around. They made a complete 180 down there, and I'm not sure how many championships he won, but every year they were number one regardless.
Guys, it's I was thinking about that this morning when I saw the news. You know, I go back to hearing about all the legends: Rod Dado and Jerry Kendall, Mike Martin, Gene Stevenson at Wichita State, Ron Polk. But when Skip Bertman came to LSU, it's like you said, Neil, it was like the sport was rising, and he just took it to way another level, and he kept it there. That was the amazing thing. And during the 1984 SEC tournament, which they still used to play East and West divisions at that time, morning game, Coach Bertman sitting down there behind home plate by himself, and I walked down there and introduced myself, sat down and talked with him for 10, 15 minutes, and one of the most gracious, most humble individuals, and but he was one dead-gum great baseball coach.
Well, y'all may have saw the answer to this in all the press release this morning. Y'all know what Skip Bertman's real name is?
No.
I can't recall.
Stanley Skip Bergman is his actual name.
I'll tell you what I do remember, though.
What's that?
Once upon a time, you and Reese and I went down to Southeastern to see Ole Miss play, and we interviewed Mike Bianco. And I don't remember which one it was of y'all asking him why he walked like Skip Bertman.
It's just the truth.
It sure is.
Yeah, but Skip takes half a day to get from the dugout to the mound.
It's not necessarily a walk. It's more of a waddle.
Yeah. It looks like somebody kind of pushed them from behind.
Right.
Reminded me a little bit of P.A. Deer.
Yeah. Now you're going way back, Neil.
Yeah.
You're going way back. Let's stay with LSU. Got some kind of different stuff to talk about this morning. Of course, Kiffin strikes again. Jaden Williams will get number 5 to wear this football season, previously worn by an LSU quarterback who was not real happy that the number was given. Let me put it this way. I don't know if he was not happy, but his group was not happy. His agent is his mother, and she was the main one not happy with what they doing, and it really hit the fan there for about a day at LSU, going back and forth. They got the Heisman Trophy group to ask for their Heisman Trophy back. The LSU got that, asked that they did not give that number out. It's kind of a strange thing. It started with the previous administration who signed Mr. Jaden Williams, and they promised him the number 5, which, of course, is former quarterback's number. Didn't give it to him last year or going into the year before. Well, when the contract comes back up for renewal this year, the only way Williams will sign with the LSU is to get number 5. He told him if he didn't get number 5, he was going somewhere else. So Kiffin decided he would trade a 4 or 5-star cornerback for a former quarterback, and he gave the number to Jaden Williams, and it all hit the fan. What do you think, guys?
Robbie, it's a number. Go
ahead.
I just said, when I heard about that, saw it, I said, it's a number, okay? Now when everybody retires a jersey, but now we've got contracts and agents and moms and dads involved, and it's just another mess. I'm sorry.
Well, LSU retires the jersey.
Right.
They do not
retire the number.
Right. As of yet.
Yes.
So that's where all this came from. I saw what Jaden Williams came out. Quarterback came out yesterday and said, no, we got to do better than this. Let's argue amongst ourselves. Let's not argue in the public with LSU. And so I reckon that will calm a little bit down, but it won't go away for a while. This is going to be the new thing to talk about for a few days.
One of the things I saw was, and I don't know who was reporting this, whether Jaden Daniels said it or but he was upset, or their party was upset at the fact that
your mama, man.
Burrow's number or jersey had been retired, and he won a Heisman Trophy, and he won a Heisman. Well, I said, well, Burrow won a national championship.
Burrow's number's not retired.
Okay, I didn't know.
It's just like Daniels. It has been, how we'll put it, the jersey has been retired.
Right, that's what I mean.
But the number has not been retired.
In college football, you can't retire the number. You only got 99 of them, and now you got 99 people when you start practice.
Well, the only jersey or the only number retired at the LSU was Billy Cannon.
Cannon's, right.
And that was done after that Heisman Trophy season back, when was that, 50-something, right?
59.
So that was done before any of this was ever talked about, so it's going to be interesting. Ole Miss folks is going to blame Kiffin for getting it started, and LSU folks is going to blame Daniels for getting it started, and we're just going to continue to build excitement for the third game of the regular season. Second thing, I sent it to y'all to look at. Maumelle, Arkansas. A high school football player was practicing. Said he felt something move around in his helmet. So he went over to the coach and told him what was going on. So they pulled the helmet off. And inside this kid's helmet, guys, was a cottonmouth rattlesnake. Inside the helmet. He had come and got, with the helmets the way they're made now, they kind of separated from the top with a barrier. He got inside, he got his head stuck kind of over a side so he couldn't move or bite him. But the kid had a rattlesnake in his helmet. I never seen nothing like this.
Well, the poor old snake was probably just trying to find a way to get away from everybody and get in a cool spot. And when I read that, when you sent that to us, Robbie, it's amazing because usually when a snake is disturbed at something like that, they try to get somewhere else because they feel threatened. That's their thing about getting away. And the amazing thing is he didn't try to start getting away while the young man had the helmet on.
Yeah. And they said that they took the helmet and got the snake out of the helmet, gave the kid a new helmet. He went right back out to practice. Now, boys, I'm going to tell you, I had to go change pants, sliding shorts, anything else I had on when they pulled that snake out of that helmet. I can tell you all that. What about y'all?
They'd been giving me CPR or something.
Holy cow. That's one of the best stories I've seen in a while.
Well, it's a good story because it ended well. It could have been a tragedy.
It could have been real bad, real bad.
Yes.
All right, one more thing. We'll go kind of off the cuff here. Akron needs to generate money. Akron University, their football program needs to generate money. So they came up with a idea that they were going to, for everybody that bought a season ticket or a suite or whatever, they got a name in a drawing to call the first series of plays for the Akron Zips first football game. They've sold more season tickets than they've ever sold. They've sold their suites out. It's been a real success in doing this, but two questions. Number one, who is the head football coach of the Akron Zips?
I have no idea.
No clue.
Joe Moorhead.
Joe Moorhead. Oh.
Joe Moorhead.
Of Mississippi State fame.
Mississippi State
Watch
fame.
out. Say that lightly, please.
You should have known that, Richard.
I knew he was up in that. I knew where Moorhead was kind of up in that neck. I didn't know he was at Akron.
You weren't keeping up with it?
No.
Okay.
No.
The second thing, if you're the defensive coordinator of Akron's first opponent, and they run the plays that Grandma sent down to be run, and they score a touchdown on you, what in the world are you going to do?
How do you prepare for that? Because you have like you said, you can look at film all day long and it doesn't matter.
You don't think they don't have film on Grandma?
No tendencies, I think, is what you're saying.
What play would you run first, Neil, if you had that call?
Oh, I would run go long.
Double reverse, throw it deep.
Double reverse, triple halfback pass, yeah.
That's Jack what he would call. He has one for all those situations.
Well, that's right.
That's right. Third thing. I was reading this article, and it just got my attention, and I kept reading. I said, why are you spending time with this? But it just got my attention. I have two daughters. You have a daughter.
Yeah.
You had a daughter. You have two granddaughters going to college.
I got 6 granddaughters.
You got 6 granddaughters that will be going to college.
Sooner than I want, probably.
I was reading the new rush guidelines for girls entering sororities at not at universities, not necessarily Ole Miss, and that parents are hiring, quote, rush coaches now to coach their daughters to make sure they get in the right sorority. It goes from $150, which is just the standard online basic. You have your own tutorial there, you read it. Some people are paying as much as $6,500 for one-on-one coaching of their daughter to prepare to go to Rush at one of the universities. Now, I know better than to ask either one of y'all, but would you pay money to have your daughter taught how to go to Rush?
If she asks me for a lot of things, or they do, to help them go to school, I'll do the best I can, but I'm not hiring them a Rush coach. No, I'm not. No, I would not do that.
Mr. Randall, you'll pay for your granddaughters to have Rush coaches?
Well, I wasn't asked, but I paid for a lot of other things.
No, the feeling.
So you don't know where it went. So it could have went to a Rush coach, huh?
Well, I don't think so. I'm going to continue to stand by that.
I tell you, $6,500.
Now, what did it say anything about what they were coaching them at or in?
How to answer the questions and how to dress and what to do and what to say and how you do.
I
It
thought
was an amazing article. I enjoyed reading the article. I didn't know much about it. My daughter went to Delta State.
well, when you pledge a sorority or fraternity, they give you a brother or a sister to be kind of your.
Yeah, but
can't
you got to get there first. You got to be invited and all that stuff. And that teaches you how to get
back in my day,
in the line to get invited.
You just went into which one you wanted to go, and if they liked you, fine. If they didn't, but the ones that I was able to join, they was glad to see me. Because they needed somebody to milk cows that morning.
I was going to ask you, what are the pledge requirements you had to do the milking? All right. Let's see. One more thing before we go to Bob Ghetti. Community college season will get started here sometime the last Thursday of the month. JUCO preseason, number 5, Northwest, number 10, Colin, number 15, East Mississippi, and number 16, Hines, the number 1 team in the nation, San Mateo, the number 2 team in the nation, Iowa Western. Southwest takes on East Mississippi in their opening game at John I. Hurst Stadium. Colin has Mississippi Delta up at Colin in their first game of the year. We'll come back. Bob Ghetti will be next. Chasing Foul Balls is right here on SuperTalk Pike County. Chasing Foul Balls. Glad to have you with us on this Friday morning. One of our listeners texted in and said the only way you pay $6,500 for Rush is what, Neil?
If she's an offensive lineman, and he would pay it. I'm not going to name any names.
No, we'll keep it with it, but that's a great line. I will say that. The only thing I don't like about that line, I didn't come up with it. Hurt my feelings. Bob Ghetti on the phone. Bob, host of Legends, a new podcast he's been doing for the last month or two. Also host of the Eagle Hour. How you doing, Bob?
Well, I'm doing great, and I really appreciate you guys having me on your show today. Thank you very much.
Oh, we're glad to have you. We were just discussing, I had read an article this week where they have rush coaches for the young ladies to get into the sororities at universities. Mm-hmm. And parents were paying anywhere from $150 for just the online tutorial to up to $6,500 for one-on-one coaching to get in the sorority. Now, would you pay that kind of money?
And 2 words, absolutely no.
It just amazes me. As Richard said, with this capitalism at its best, find a way to get some money. Go ahead.
It's a different world today, for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. We had Matt White on last week. I asked him this question to start it. I'm going to start the same way with you. You have the Eagle Hour. You in touch with the Southern Miss fans every day. What's the temperature of the Southern Miss fans heading into this football season?
Well, I think there's some guarded, some guarded excitement. Having a new coach here is exciting, but I think the rebuild is just enormous. And consider this: 1 returning starter from last year's team, a guard, Brock Roman, 78 new players, a new head coach, a new OC, a new DC, and a new assistant staff. So it would be virtually impossible, I think, to predict accurately what's going to happen. But Southern Miss fans are so hungry to see their football program win again that I think there's just a lot of hope placed on Blake Anderson, and he has done this at a couple of other schools. So I think there is optimism that in time Blake can get this thing turned around and back on the right track.
Before we go too deep into Southern Miss, let's talk about some things Bob Ghetti's got going on. First of all, you got a new podcast that you've been doing lately called Legends. How did that start, and tell me about it?
Well, I really appreciate you asking me about this, giving me an opportunity to tell your audience about it. When when I stepped aside as the manager of some SuperTalk stations down here, Steve Davenport asked me to stay on and do the Eagle Hour, which I was, really happy that he did. And then I've always wanted to do a project where I could do extensive personal interviews with sports figures. Throughout my career, I've done 1 million interviews, but as you well know, they're all 4 or 5 minutes, and you're always watching the clock to see how much time is left. So I just had this desire to sit down with sports figures that I've met through the years with no time limits, with no restrictions, and talk personally to them about their lives and how their lives led them to the careers that they have since enjoyed. And I have to tell you, it's been a great pleasure. I've released the 23rd episode yesterday. I've recorded 27. And every one of them has been a different story, but every one of them has been really fascinating to hear the personal lives of people that we know as sports legends, but really are just human beings like you and I, and have their ups and downs in life, and they're very open about discussing it. So it's been a real pleasure to do this.
Top 2 or 3 people that you've interviewed, what would you consider the top 2 or 3?
One of the most interesting I've done is with Tim Floyd. Tim Floyd is he's a Mississippian, big-time college basketball coach at Iowa State, and then coached at USC, and then took over the Chicago Bulls right after Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and all of those guys retired. Tim has a fascinating story, so that was a very interesting conversation. Brian Dozier, Major League All-Star, Major League World Series winner. Great story, great human being, and a guy that lives here in Hattiesburg and is just a wonderful guy to know. And then I've interviewed the last 3 football coaches here, Jeff Bauer, Jay Hobson, Larry Fedora. All 3 great men, great success in college coaching. It would be hard to single out one, but those are guys that really jump out, and I found particularly interesting.
One of the guys that really has a great story to tell and does a great job of telling his own story is Marshawn Kenny.
Oh, yeah, and I've had Marshawn on the show, and Marshawn is a very dear friend of mine and does football analysis for us in the fall on the Eagle Hour. That's one I should have mentioned. Marshawn is an amazing story. Lost his mother to mental illness really young in his life, lost his father to prison, was raised basically by a Catholic nun in New Orleans who really helped him get through the difficult parts of his life, came to Southern Miss, established himself as a legend, no question about it, and a wonderful human being. Marshawn Kenny is an episode I would encourage everyone to listen to, and I will tell you, it was as big a download number as we've seen on any episode was the day that we sat down with Marshawn Kenny. So great point. He is a great figure, no question.
Bob, this is Neil Randall. Congratulations on such a successful new endeavor.
Thank you, sir.
When Robbie told me we were going to talk about legends, I did a little research, not deep research, but there are a lot of legends from our area over here in Southwest Mississippi, and I know you know them all: Jamie Collins, Janice Felder. But two I would like to throw out there, and I think it would be easy to say and accept that the 2 greatest punters ever came from Southern Miss, and Gerald Thunderfoot Wilson and Ray Guy.
Correct. Well, no question about it. And, I think Gerald Wilson gets overshadowed by the great Ray Guy, but Gerald Wilson in his own right was a all-pro NFL punter for many, many years. And you're 1,000% right about that, too. I'll tell you something real interesting. If you look at the state of Mississippi, and that's what this podcast really was based on, you could arguably say the greatest punter ever came from Mississippi. The greatest running back came from Columbia, Mississippi, Walter Payton. The greatest wide receiver played at Mississippi Valley, Jerry Rice. And then Brett Favre is going to be right there in the argument about greatest quarterbacks that ever played. Mississippi is a remarkable state when it comes to producing collegiate and professional athletes. You just named 4 examples right from your area, and there are examples like that all over the state of Mississippi. Really, really a remarkable story.
Bob, this is Richard Hay. I guess I guess the question, who down the road, who have you contacted or look forward, some that you say, well, this I'm going to be interviewing this one? Who are some of the guys, gals, ladies that we can look forward to hearing from?
Well, I have completed but not released interviews with Jeremy McClain. Interesting story about Jeremy McClain. We really didn't talk much about him being the athletic director. We talked about his baseball career. He is the second all-time winningest pitcher in Division II collegiate baseball history. I don't think many people here realize that. He also played 5 years of professional baseball. So Jeremy McClain, former Ole Miss basketball coach Kermit Davis, that'll be released pretty soon. And unfortunately, his dad, who he talks a lot about in the interview, was the longtime coach at Mississippi State, passed away just 2 days ago. So I have Kermit Davis coming up. I just did an interview with Jay Ladner, the basketball coach here at Southern Miss, former great running back for the Golden Eagles, Shelton Gandy. I'm coordinating an upcoming interview with Sammy Winder as well, Swayze Bozeman, who is now playing for the Cincinnati Bengals, and Courtney Blades, who is the legendary softball player, probably one of the best women's softball players to ever live. So I stay about a month ahead on the interviews, and those are some interviews that are scheduled and upcoming.
Bob, this is Richard again. How can we find them? How can we just go to your podcast and
Yes.
search it that way? Because there's a couple that I would really like to listen to. I played high school football against Reggie Collier, and I've said for years he was probably the most amazing athlete I've ever seen, and there's a lot of them that have come since him, but Reggie was great.
Well, I have a podcast that's up with Reggie. Was done a few weeks ago. Great conversation, and Reggie's very open about how he had so much success in college, but so little professional success in the NFL, and Reggie takes full responsibility for that. So yes, indeed, Reggie Collier, really one of the great ones. To answer your question, you can find the podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Just go to Legends with Bob Ghetti, and all the episodes that have been released are available on those two. We've just started putting up podcasts as well on YouTube, but we only started that about a month ago. I think there are 4 or 5 available right now on YouTube, but every podcast that we have released so far is available on Apple and Spotify.
Bob, I've talked to the guys here. One of our questions we discussed before, best quarterback ever at Ole Miss, Eli or Archie Manning. If we go the other way, what is the best quarterback ever at Southern Miss?
Okay, now, people may disagree with me about this. There have been a lot of great quarterbacks, as you guys know, at Southern Miss. I don't believe I've ever seen a better collegiate quarterback in my life than Reggie Collier. And to this day, I personally believe that Reggie Collier and Ray Guy are the 2 greatest Golden Eagles that ever wore the black and gold. Now, that can be argued. I get Brett Favre, I understand. But I have to go with Reggie Collier. What would you guys say? Curious to know.
Mr. Randall?
Well, I agree with Reggie because he did so much, and of course, and he could do anything. He was a threat to run or throw, and he was an excellent field general. But Favre took it further in the pros. But as far as at USM, I might have to agree with Bob here on Reggie Collier. They were both great.
Well, like I said, I saw him at high school when he was a tall, slender, 6'4" guy that loved basketball probably more than football.
Did he run past you?
Well, that wasn't, he could walk past me, and then I went to Mississippi State in the early '80s. So guess who we're playing against all the time? And the 7-6 football game that Southern Miss won in the Memorial Coliseum, still to me the best football game I ever witnessed. But to answer your question, Bob, you'll remember the quote. What was the sports writer in Tampa? He said, "I didn't know the man's name when he came down here to play Florida State, but today I think he needs to be the Heisman Trophy winner." Yeah. It's Reggie Collier.
Correct. Yeah, correct. And you'll remember, too, that Bear Bryant, after Collier and the Golden Eagles beat him in Tuscaloosa, said Reggie Collier was the finest college football player he had ever seen. That's pretty high praise from Bear Bryant.
Hottest topic that you're getting on Eagle Hour right now, getting ready for the football season. What's the hottest topic?
Well, I think the uncertainty, and I think the big question that most fans are asking us, and we don't really have an answer to, and that is who's going to be the quarterback. For years now, Southern Miss has just not been very stable at that position. 3 guys in the camp: Ethan Hampton, who transferred from Northern Illinois; Landry Liddy, who did get some snaps last year; and John White. That seems to be the biggest question among the fans we deal with. Who's going to be the quarterback? Tomorrow they scrimmage for the first time. Really, really important scrimmage. But from everything we see at practice, Ethan Hampton is taking all the snaps with what we believe is the number one offense. And if I were a guessing man, I would say you'll see Ethan Hampton start when they play Alcorn. Actually, I think 3 weeks from tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, is when football season starts. But, people want to know who's going to be the quarterback, who are going to be the top players. And the truth is, I don't think anyone knows right now. Blake Anderson says he doesn't know. But I think we'll learn a lot tomorrow with the scrimmage at 11 o'clock.
You're getting some players from the class of 2022 can have some eligibility restored. Southern Miss looks like they're going to bring 3 back. Do you think those players will be able to work their way into the lineup at Southern Miss? And will they be able to go all year, or will we have another court case that will do something about this?
Well, I'm not going to predict what federal judges do because they seem to be controlling everything. But presuming that a federal judge doesn't come in and change things, I think all 3 of these guys will be valuable because they all had snaps last year. However, I think it's going to take some time for them to get football ready, and I don't think you can expect them to play early in the season. But I think as the season progresses, you'll certainly see those 3 guys in the lineup, yes.
You mentioned it earlier, Blake Anderson working with 70-plus new players. How do you get continuity when you got 70-plus new players?
That's a great question. We've asked Coach Anderson that question. I think what they've tried to do is they've tried to get these guys together, have them spend as much time together as they can, both on and off the field, get to know one another, become more cohesive as a team. But he tells us that this is a big, big job, and people are going to have to be patient. I just don't think this is going to happen overnight. And I think, further answer your question, I think these guys just have to play some games. I think they have to get 2 or 3 games under their belt before we'll really see. And I would say, gentlemen, that I think the 3rd game of the season will be pivotal when they play UConn. You assume they'll win the first game against Alcorn. The assumption is they would lose at Auburn. And then we'll really see 3 games in against a pretty good UConn team, not a great team, but a pretty good team, how the team has gelled in 2 games. And I think after that 3rd game, we'll all have a much better idea of what is a realistic expectation this year.
Saints kick off Saturday in their exhibition season. You looking forward to the Saints year, or you afraid this is just going to be another Saints year?
No, let me give good news to Saints fans. Patrick McGee is a good friend of ours. He comes on the show during football season every Friday. He's now the sports editor of the Times-Picayune, and obviously they cover the Saints. And Patrick believes with their second-year quarterback and some off-season moves they've made that the Saints will be a much improved team and could contend for their division championship. He tends to believe it'll come down between New Orleans and Tampa Bay. So I think there's reason to be optimistic if you're a Saints fan.
Final question. When Bob Ghetti gets introduced to make a speech, is he cartwheeling to the podium, or is he moonwalking once he leaves the podium?
He's happier when he leaves the podium. Yeah. I'll tell you guys something. I've been in the TV and radio business my whole life, but if I'm asked to speak in front of 20 people in a room, I just almost feel like I'm going to pass out. So, yeah, when I'm leaving the podium, that's when I'm feeling the most relief, for sure.
Bob, thanks for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. Good luck on Legends, and I've enjoyed listening to the programs, and I continue to go back and listen to some of the earlier programs, that's for sure. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much, guys. Honor to be on your show.
Thank you, sir. Bob Ghetti, the host of Legends, the podcast of some of the greatest players in Mississippi. I've listened to several of them already. Great show. You need to go and listen to it, no doubt about it. and also the co-host of the Eagle Hour right here on SuperTalk Pike County. We'll come back, get a little local. Coach Ron Rushing with the Parklane Pioneers coming up next. Good Friday morning, Football Friday. ASC and Centerville kick it off tonight in the MAIS. That ought to be a good one, a good old rivalry to get the season started with underway. So we start talking a little bit of football, no doubt about it. Joining us on the phone, the head football coach of the Parklane Pioneers, Coach Ron Rushing. How are you, Coach?
Doing good. How about y'all?
Oh, hot.
Ready to get started, huh?
How's the weather? Practicing in the heat, that's the question.
It hasn't been that bad. We of course our guys been in it all summer. We've been going out at 3. We give them a break about every 16 minutes, and they've handled it really well.
Taking a look at the schedule that you have for this year, it's probably one of the toughest schedules Parklane's seen in a while. You start off with the Gulf Shores, Alabama on the road on the 21st. On the 28th, you come right back, go to Jackson Prep. And then you finally get a home game on October the 4th. Parkview out of Baton Rouge comes to Coward Smith Stadium. Intentionally wanted the schedule this way, or is it just the way it ended up?
We did. Just wanted to challenge our guys. You know, last year we kind of went through and wasn't really challenged but a few times and never really got to the, playing our best football. So just wanted to challenge these guys. And really, it's all about getting exposure for them. When you play good teams like that, there's a lot of eyes on you and just trying to get some good film on them and get their name out there a little bit more.
Is Parklane a team this year going to have to be built off defense first to start the year?
I believe we always are. Our defense has been great the last, 3, 4, 5, 4 years. Coach Young, I think, is one of the elite guys in our league and does a great job, and his staff. And we kind of feed off them. They give us good field position, create some turnovers, and we always play off our defense.
Coach Rushing, this is Richard Hay. We all know from pee-wees to the pros, it starts up front, and your line of scrimmage, looking over your roster, it looks like you got some pretty good-sized guys, but how have they gelled, and how many returners have you got, and how many new guys do you have up front?
Returned 2 starters, James Hollis-Smith and Rantley Rhymes up front at center and right guard. Aaron Holmes got a lot of snaps in last year playing left guard, so that's 3 seniors. And then Caden Addison is playing left tackle, who's got an Ole Miss offer as a sophomore. He's going to be a junior, and Stone Trout's playing right tackle. Right tackle and center, I think center is about 275, and then both of our tackles about 305. So a lot of size up front, and they're getting better every day.
Coach Rushing, Neil Randall, looking for another great season from you and your Pioneers. Let's talk about the guys behind the big guys, the wideouts, the running backs, the quarterbacks.
Reese Robinson is our starting quarterback. He's a freshman. Got offers from Tulane and Georgia State right now as a freshman, but we got to be careful not to compare him to a senior. He's very capable of making all the throws, but y'all know as well as I do, experience is invaluable. So his first year to start has started off great. He was 12 of 24 for like 240 yards last night at the Jamboree. So very, very capable back there. We just got to do a good job of putting him in situations where he can be successful early. Dooley Copeland, Cardez Jackson, Andrew Lott, Nick Young. We got multiple guys at receiver that can go get it and go score. And then Parker Wendy's back at running back and DJ Brown. So we're very capable, really fast, and really deep at the skill position.
You surprised that your freshman quarterback has got such attention this early?
I'm not. He's a student of the game. He works as hard as anybody I've ever had. Actually, for the first time since I've been here, we're able to stretch the entire field. threw the ball 54 yards downfield last night on one ball. He can throw the ball from sideline to sideline. So he really adds another dimension to our offense.
You talk about scrimmages and exhibitions and all. How many do you get to play before you start the season on August 21st?
Yeah, we're allowed a scrimmage and a jamboree. So we went up last Friday to MRA and had a pretty good scrimmage against them, about 60 offensive plays, 60 defensive plays, played really well. And then we played in the jamboree last night, 2 20-minute running clocks against Oak Forest and Silliman.
Coach Rush and Richard Hay once again. Talk about some of the surprises, some of the guys that probably have got the wherewithal and the talent, but they just probably haven't done it. But in early practice, have really stepped up. So you can build some depth.
Yeah, I think Tyler Smith is the guy that's taken, kind of in Tilden Jefferson's spot, who's been there for a few years. Tyler's really athletic. He's going to pose a lot of problems for those big old tackles trying to pass protect. He's really had a great start to the year. And then, we haven't started a sophomore the last few years. So I think our sophomore class, Kyle LaFontaine, J.P. Leggett, Andrew Lott's a guy that didn't play a lot last year that's really stepped his game up. He's starting at safety and seeing some time at receiver. And then on the defensive side, Bennett Williams is a sophomore who started for us in the scrimmage, inter-squad, scrimmage in the jamboree, and he just flat out gets after it. His effort and his intensity kind of earned him that spot. So that's some young guys kind of stepping it up.
Coach Rushing, Neal again. Talk about your kicking game. So many times games come down to who can kick an extra who can kick an extra point. I'm getting tongue-tied here, but or who can get a punt off late in the game to preserve a win.
Yeah, we're solid right there. Miles Carter's a 2-year starter. He's a senior. Kicks the ball in the end zone probably over half the time. Great leg. Has already kicked a couple field goals in scrimmages and jamborees. He kicked a 38-yarder last night and then missed a 42 that was wide left but had the distance. Drake Hughes has stepped in at long snapper and has really snapped the ball well as of late. And then Aaron Holmes is our punter, who's got a great leg, just doesn't have the experience yet in the game. So we feel pretty good about our special teams.
One thing you have this year, Coach, probably more than you've had before at Parklane, is track speed. And you've got some speed at the wideout, some speed at the defensive back. That should help the Pioneers.
I've said all summer I think this could be one of the fastest teams overall that Parklane's ever had, with some depth. Just about all those guys that was on the state championship track team last year are playing this year. Really, with Reese's arm allows us to stretch the field and just get into the ball. So we definitely we're blessed on that part of it.
Coach Rushing, Neal again. Talk to us a little bit about your staff. Or I know you've got a lot of continuity, but any new guys there joining you this year?
You've been fortunate to keep the same guys. Everybody's back. We got Coach Anderson back at Christmas last year, who really adds a lot. Really, our kids respect him and know he knows what he's doing. He adds a lot to the offensive side of the ball. And then we hired Christopher McGraw from ASC, who's a hard worker. He shows up every day, gets after it. That's going to help us out on that side of the ball. Very knowledgeable, and then everybody else is back. So we really haven't lost anybody the last 5 years. We just kind of keep adding to it.
Coach, it's Richard Hay once again. One of my questions I'm always concerned with early in the season is when, like you said, you practice, 16 minutes, or every 20 minutes you're taking a break and what have you. But when they turn the lights on Friday night and the emotion of the game, how do you prepare, condition them for that first quarter, that first half when, you might go on a 7 or 8 play drive along with the emotions of the game? How do you handle that going into the season?
I think no matter how hard you run them during the summer, it's going to take you 3 games to get them in game shape. That's just it's hard to simulate. And I think emotionally, you got to teach them not to spell all their energy before the game. A lot of guys get out there and jump around and hoop and holler, and they're out there for 45 minutes. So we got a little system. We go out for about 17 minutes. We bring them back in, cool them off. But really, they sit down in the locker room. We're quiet. they focus on what they're doing and try not to spill that extra energy.
Let's go one more time to your schedule. The final game of the year on October the what is it? October the
late
30th is MRA. Do you like MRA that deep in the schedule? Would you rather them at the beginning, or is there a place you would rather have to play MRA?
You know, looking back the last 3 years, we've had an off week, and then the last couple of games of our schedule hadn't been that tough, so it turns into 2 or 3 weeks for starters playing a full game, and I think it's hurt us the first game of the playoffs. So having that at the end of the season when you know it's going to be a dogfight and everybody's going to play, I think it kind of, if you stay healthy, it leaves you going into the playoffs. So I do like it that late.
Coach Rushing, Neil again. Talk to us a little bit about who you'll be competing with in your district or division.
This district this year is Simpson. Coach Mangum always has a tough physical team over there. Kapai Academy, East Franklin, and Oak Forest is our district. And then from there, a couple schools moved down to 3A, Lamar, Heritage. So our district's usually one of the toughest in the state. And I think you throw Starkville in there, Magnolia Heights, and some of those guys.
The most valuable player we haven't talked about yet, probably, and that's that little green machine that marks off the field. How'd you get that? And tell me all about it.
Best money I've ever spent. So this is actually our second year to have it. We got it last year.
Yes, sir.
A little gridiron package. You get a lot of paint with it. It's a great deal, but man, you go out there and technology's wonderful. You set it up, you click a button, and it paints the field for you. Well, this is my 31st year. I'll never coach another year without having that thing. It's amazing.
Coach, it's Richard. Have you ever missed a first down because the line wasn't straight? That's what I thought when I saw that video. I said, there was a lot of games we called, me and my big daddy, Reese Nunnery, where we'd look and they'd say, that line's not straight. We might miss a first down.
The biggest thing is when you're marking it off and you're not putting lines and you're not measuring every game, could very well happen. It might be a straight line, but your line may be 6 inches off, So, definitely.
Can you use the machine on different sports?
Well, we use it for soccer. It paints our practice fields, paints our game fields. Not really useful for baseball, softball, because it takes you 15, 20 minutes to set up, and by the time you do that on one of those fields, you've already painted the lines. And then we also paint a track out around our practice field for the track team.
Coach Neil again, I probably shouldn't ask this question. I'm not going to ask you how much this machine cost, but did any of your assistant coaches pitch in to help out with the cost?
They're extremely happy about it. And we paint our practice field once a week, pretty much year round. So it's going out there, and those old machines, half the time you got to work on them for 30 minutes. It takes forever to clean them up. So they would if I needed them to.
Well, Coach,
they get lazy though.
That was going to be my question. If it breaks down, who's the guy you're mad at that got to go paint the field?
We ain't got to that point yet. But I'm gonna be mad if that guy sold it to me. So I'm gonna be mad at him.
He better have a backup he can send in a hurry.
That's right.
Coach, good luck on the season. We look forward to watching the Parklane Pioneers play, and good luck as you kick it off. That'll be on August 21st. Not a bad place to have to go to start the season, Gulf Shores, Alabama.
It's going to be a fun trip. We're excited about it.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, love listening to y'all. Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you. Ron Rushing, the head football coach at Parklane Academy. Whew. Tell you what, that machine's something. I saw it last year when he first got it. Well, I had seen it advertised.
Yeah.
And there was talk about who was on, they said, well, we got the turf field now, we don't need it, and this and that. And then when I saw they had got it, I said, look at here. A team in our area not having the coaches mark off the field.
Yeah. That's got to be interesting, just watching that thing go up and down the field.
That was one of my thoughts watching the little video that we were seeing is, I wonder if it breaks down, who's low man on the totem pole?
Well, I know a guy that used to coach at South Pike who's one of the tightest men I've ever known, but he would have paid for that.
And a lot of fields we used to play on weren't all level, and so when it would go over bumps, the lines would get
How'd it go, Richard?
it kind of shook like that,
Kind of like me and you get walked now.
Yeah.
Kind of crooked.
Kind of goose-feeded.
Yeah. Can't find exactly that right span. One more thing before we get out of here. Where's it at? Superdome opened on August the 3rd, 1975. Pretty good. This month in 1975. Sure wouldn't think they've been that long, that's for sure. And speaking of speed at Parklane, I didn't get to it last week. I want to get to it this week. Hayden and Henry Williams for Parklane went to the Junior Olympics out in California in the Junior Olympics there, and one, I think it was finished fifth, and one finished in the top 15. So congratulations to those two guys, Hayden and Henry Williams.
One more thing, I know we're getting ready to go. Drew Brees' Hall of Fame speech was maybe the best speech I've ever seen for a Hall of Fame
And
inductee.
ended it with a who dat.
It was it almost like you're getting ready to play football.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just inspiring to listen to.
If y'all want to pitch in, we can try to see if we can buy the Lakers. They sold for the second time in a year for $12.5 billion. Not to be $12.5 billion.
Well, if the Celtics ever come up, I might send them a little money.
I doubt it. I know you. We'll be back next week. Hope you'll be with us. Football time in Southwest Mississippi. ASC Central tonight at 7.
Before the night will let the music play, you remember how it used to be. I love the way that you would dance with me, rocking and rolling till the clock unwinds, and then we'd holler out one more time. Don't turn out the lights, the party ain't over. Well, the band just started to play my favorite song. I just found my baby and I want to get a chance to hold her. So don't turn out the lights, the party ain't over. I said don't turn out the lights, don't turn out those lights, don't turn out the lights, the party ain't over.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.